Statistics give us probabilities with margins of error, and probability gives us expectations. And nothing kills joy more than mismanaged expectations. Humans have many biases, and some of the most dangerous ones are optimism bias and pessimism bias. Optimism bias is the tendency to overestimate the likelihood of good things happening to you and underestimating the likelihood of bad things happening. Pessimism bias is the opposite of this, expecting the worst. Mismanaged expectations is the thing that leads many people to start businesses or take on ventures that are inherently risky because they feel like they are of that, even though a small percentile, the percentile that would succeed. We see this at play when a doctor will tell a patient this has a 30% chance of success. You might tell yourself, oh, that sounds actually kind of nice. I mean, how would I weigh that? That's 3 out of 10 people. Like, I feel like I'm a healthy guy. I feel like whatever, right? But we don't really think about the fact that 7 people would not survive this operation, right? And this can be used against us in different ways. It also is used by some people to have you not take a certain action, right? Look at some people's thoughts on airplane and airplane travel. They saw the Delta airline that flipped upside down and, crashed. And they saw a rise in a bunch of airport accidents. And they think to themselves, oh my goodness, flying by air is really dangerous right now. But those are the ones that make the news. Do you know how many flights have been successful in a given day, right? What's the accident to safe landing ratio per day? It's it's incredibly it's incredibly positive towards air travel. Air travel is still humanity's safest means of transportation. But we don't really focus on the positive sometimes. Sometimes we are very pessimistic when it comes to our odds. These two things can make us very miserable people. When you take on ventures thinking that you will be luckier than what the probabilities actually are, you set yourself up for a lot of disappointment when the statistics hold true and you fail your business. The same is true on the other side, though, where you decide to not start something. You're never ready. You never have enough time or money or expertise to start something. Chances are it's just gonna fail. Victor keeps saying the businesses are gonna fail and I should do nothing. I didn't say this, but maybe that's how you take these videos, and then you never start and you never try to hit those goals or your dreams of starting that project and so on. We need to be able to manage our expectations in a way that we don't expect so much when it comes to the results of everyday endeavors. We also don't scare ourselves from ever beginning because of our fear of failure. And the best way to manage this is to always have something of a risk model inside of your own head. Can you stomach the cost of failing this? What this means is that me personally, I am not going into any business where I will lose more than like $1,000. Why? Because I don't have $1,000 to be losing, right? And that's me personally. So that means that any endeavor that it's even if it's all actually wait, okay, so it also matters how much you make, and this gets into a lot of economics math of what your actual gain is based on the probabilities of what you lose and what you gain, right? One would argue that if you make $10 for flipping a coin and it lands on heads, but you lose $5 for flipping a coin and it lands on tails, the entire scenario of flipping that coin, I guess, gains you $5, I believe is the math on that. Economic students, please don't come after me. I am trying my best to remember my econ class. I know my risk tolerance and I know what to expect based on the probability of this. Now, this assumes that you know all of, the probability of everything that you choose in life. You won't. It will have to be based off of research and based off of um, knowing the industry. If you're making a clothing brand and you're sinking in like $5,000 into it, understand that probability wise, you have like a 5% chance of succeeding, right? Um, this might sound like I'm a hater, right? It might sound like I'm telling you to not chase your dreams. What I'm telling you to do is understand your expectations. If you know and you actually know that you have a 5% chance of succeeding, then you would probably invest accordingly. If I know that I have what is the chances even, like a 0.01% chance of succeeding with all of this YouTube stuff, I'm not sinking in thousands of dollars. I really not. I'm putting in only what I can afford on like a monthly basis, right? So that when this doesn't blow up, which it hasn't been, I can still stomach those losses and I can probably still going because I've set up my cost structure in a way that 1 month of, let's I get 0 views is not going to put me out on the street. It's understanding our expectations in this way that will make us be able to work on something for a lot longer and work on our business for a lot longer and not feel miserable while we're in it. If I'm losing $1,000 every single month and I can't afford it, but I'm like, but like that $2,000, I'm chasing that. I won't last long, mentally or financially. I encourage you to go into things with zero expectations. Don't start a project because you're trying to get rich very quickly or get a lot of recognition very quickly. Go with zero expectations. Do it because you have a knack for it, because you're interested in learning how to do it. I started all this YouTube stuff in order to be a better speaker. My first videos ever that I published were comedy skits, right? I was trying to get out of my comfort zone in a very big way so that I would be better at presentation. Don't overhype things. At least don't overhype it all the time. You're going to see some success sometimes and you're going to see some losses other times. Some people are going to watch your videos. Sometimes people won't give a crap about your shorts. I have a few shorts that like would get like 0 views and I'm like, okay, and it comes off the shoulder, right? Same thing with your business. You're going to start a business and you might blow up inside the first like month or so and you're seeing a lot of, coverage and people are excited about your brand and your business and your products and your services. And then a few months later, it's dry. You can't find customers. If you did not have your expectations aligned in a certain way, that might be the end of your business because you are just so down in the dumps. But someone who understands the long run of what it takes to do business and how long it takes to really get that market fit is probably going to last a lot longer. But then you also have to build that out in the way of your finances, not plunging all your money at the very beginning, but understanding that you need to be able to afford this in the long run. Expectations can be very, very scary. They can be the make or break of your business, your personal life, your partnerships, and so on. So it's very important that you have it locked down and figured out because business is already scary as it is.